FHS season tickets.
Welcome back to another episode of FHS Season Tickets. I'm Michael.
And I'm Nick.
And I'm Max, back from the dead.
Max is returning.
Yeah, Max is back. He was the host for Season 1 and Season 2 of FHS Season Tickets, so if you guys have been a longtime fan of the show, you definitely know who he is. So Max, before we talk about like the college football and college basketball and NBA stuff, we got ready for you, talk about what you're doing at Mount Union right now.
So, I'm playing football there, and this season was a little different by Mount Union standards. We played 3 starting freshman quarterbacks.
Damn.
And,
I didn't even know that.
it was pretty crazy. Still went 12-2, so,
What was it like about that John Carroll loss?
that
question's coming.
So, that was my first varsity game, right? So, that was the first game I dressed. And it was all cool. Like it was a pretty crazy atmosphere. Like you're not gonna see that at D3. There was, crowd was filled, people standing. We got the 2 bleachers on the side, and then there's like a ring around the stadium.
Yeah.
People were standing there. It was crazy, and the students sitting in the end zone. It was pretty fun. And then
Well, are they just really talented this year?
Oh, John Carroll's a very good team, and they've they built their program, and they haven't beaten us in 25 years.
Yeah, that was the most insane part of that.
And they just, it's hard to win a football game when you turn the ball over 5 times, including a fumble for a touchdown. So it's just hard to win that way sometimes, and I think we're still a better team.
Mm-hmm.
But almost had that rematch in the national title game, which would be tonight. Both of us came up a little bit short. So, I think we'd beat them again. But,
do you think next year Mount Union will be back like in the regular standards, or these coming years? Yeah.
Trust me. There's I think there's 2 starters on defense, and then I think 4 on offense, 4 or 5.
Nick, let's go into Vegas, make our bets. Mount
Yeah.
Union D3 champs next year.
Already book it.
Who's that other?
Wisconsin
Is it
Whitewater. They've
Wisconsin,
lost 2.
Whitewater.
did?
Whitewater
Neither of them are
lost
in the title game
quarterfinal.
for the first time in
we had
25 years.
We had been to 11 straight Stag Bowls, which is the national title game. So we lost a bunch of streaks this year.
Damn, Max.
The John Carroll
Your first year
Conference
without.
title streak's gone.
We had won 24
If I had to
straight
point the
conference
finger.
titles.
No, I'm joking.
24 straight conference titles, nearly 120 straight regular season road game regular season
how is that even
wins.
possible?
We had a home winning streak, a road winning streak,
Oh
all of it.
God.
It's clean slate
That
starting
John Carroll
next year.
game. Hey,
Max,
time
you're
to
gonna start it
again.
next year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Time to
yeah.
start again. But what are we gonna go into first? NFL. There's been some interesting NFL developments.
We'll talk about the NFL. Obviously, we have the Cowboys sitting atop the NFC standings. We'll start off in the NFC.
I want to talk about the Cowboys.
I think Mike remembers my old, love for Dak Prescott and always picking Mississippi State.
Guess what?
I've been with Dak for the longest.
Hey, I was with Dak too.
Yeah.
I kind of predicted. I kind of predicted this season. Mike's been a hater. Mike's kind of been out-predicted this year. He's kind of taken a couple of L's. I'm sure that happened the years season 1 and season 2. But I want to talk.
I think Mike got me both years actually. So, I was always the upset with the flamboyant Mac picks.
Yeah, we used to pick all the games and we'd keep track of our records. And both years I won by 5-10 points. It was really close.
Yeah. And I had I nailed a few upsets, man. I had Northwestern.
Northwestern over Stanford. That's the biggest one.
And I was always picking those MAC teams.
The MAC teams.
Western Michigan, man. Basically in a BCS game. How about that?
I knew you would mention Western Michigan. We were gonna mention that when the bowl games.
For the NFL, in regards to the NFL, the Cowboys, I really like these Cowboys this year, as a lot of fans, and they've been just getting roasted this week, especially by the big name sports TVs like ESPN First Take. Stephen A. Smith has been going off on the Cowboys just for losing one game. They're sitting at 11-2, which I just think is ironic. They still have the best record in the NFL, and Stephen A. Smith is talking about how this is a sinking ship. This is they're imploding on themselves by losing one game. They're not giving enough trust in Dak, which I don't know where he's getting these biases from. plus undisputed. So I just wanted to ask you guys, first, Mike, what do you think about the Cowboys? Do you agree with Stephen A. Smith? Do you think that the Cowboys season is going down the tubes, or is this an extreme overreaction on their part?
No, it's not going down the tubes. I mean, they won 11 straight games with a rookie quarterback, which is sensational. Dak has started to slow down, which I think we all kind of expected because he just played so well the first 9 or 10 weeks of the season that we all knew it was eventually going to slow down. Obviously, there are problems with the Dallas Cowboys team, but there are problems with pretty much every team in the NFL. Cowboys lost a game, big deal. Every team in the NFL has lost multiple games so far this year. I wouldn't be that concerned as a Cowboys fan. It's not going to be an easy road to the Super Bowl. It never is.
Yeah.
I still would peg them as the favorite to win the NFC now with the Earl Thomas injury and how bad the Seahawks looked versus the Packers. And the Packers team that's looked really good the past couple weeks, but Dallas already beat them in Green Bay, so I think they hold the upper hand in that matchup too. And if they get home field advantage, I think Dallas really has the upper hand to get into the Super Bowl. Max, what are your thoughts about the NFC and the Cowboys?
Well, first of all, I think Stephen A. Smith is crazy. You know, him and Skip Bayless say stuff to get viewers. Those
for sure.
people are some of the, like, you know, don't even get me started with them. Nobody even watches Skip Bayless anymore. You see, You see, like he
Mike
got
does, though.
he got outperformed by SpongeBob. First of all,
see that.
SpongeBob is a great show. So outperformed
as in
viewers.
viewers?
Wow.
Wow.
Like SpongeBob got like triple the views. It was something crazy.
Well, undisputed is just it's just almost
I
ESPN
mean,
First
well-
Take, just a copycat.
Well, Fox Sports just takes all the ESPN guys that everyone hates.
exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Not even.
Coward. You know, no one liked Coward at ESPN, and you know, I know we like him just because he says good things about LeBron and Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
But,
He's in love with those two.
You know, still, I'm not the biggest Coward fan. But you know, I think the Cowboys still are the best team in the NFC. You know, the Giants have been playing very good this year, so I don't know, like where the overreaction is coming
Yeah,
from.
two lost.
But yeah, I think Dallas is still the best team in the NFC. Like Mike said, with the injury to Earl Thomas, it really hurts Seattle. And, you know, Russell Wilson has been playing the best. Through 5 picks against Green Bay?
5 interceptions.
Yeah, Green Bay is playing good football too, so they're starting to pick it up at the right time,
Yeah.
and that's all that matters. But don't forget about Detroit now. You know, Matt Stafford is clutch. You know, they're 8-4, and
Yeah.
late game, they're I mean, you know,
I see.
I don't think Matt Stafford's necessarily elite. He's just a good quarterback, but late in the game, man, he turns it on.
Yeah, I think soft schedule for the relatively soft schedule at the Denver Cowboys will help them out. Think that Seattle played a weak game against the Rams, which they won easily, but I do think the Cowboys are the best team in the NFC still. And Detroit, I just saw them on Thanksgiving. Just left a sour impression for me. That's like the whole national audience. So I don't like them in the NFC. But in regards to the Patriots,
They're clear-cut number one.
yeah, I
And
think that in
any
the
of the
AFC,
AFC West
and they
teams.
signed Michael Floyd. So that could be huge if he's
The boy
eligible
from
to
Notre Dame.
play. Yeah,
Michael
he's a dog.
Floyd,
He's
man,
a dog.
you know.
But is there anything else
Some dumb decisions, but
you want to talk about in the NFL?
Yeah, I don't
Right.
think any of the AFC West teams are that close to the Patriots. I think New England is far and away the best team in the AFC.
yeah, you know, the Raiders are coming on. They got a good young squad, and you know, Chiefs also have some good players. And remember, they're playing without Jamal Charles. But at this point, you know, Jamal Charles is hurt every dang year, so it's almost like expected. Well, I guess I feel like, you know, those backups are always ready for them. My fantasy team is crazy this year. 10-3, about to win my first round playoff game. Antonio Brown
You're
in
playing for money.
Yeah, Antonio Brown in a PPR league.
Yeah, that's easy money.
It's over. But anyways,
Well, Max, let's get into the first thing you told us, college basketball. Team we've been given a lot of love. Who have you been given a lot of love to?
oh, it's definitely UCLA. I mean, that is a fun team to watch. You know, high pace. You know, scoring a ton of points. It was 50-50 at halftime against Michigan last week. I mean, and Lonzo Ball pulled up from like half court. Like that guy is fun to watch. And TJ Leaf is also a very good player. And so, you know, I'll be watching them this weekend as they're playing my Ohio State Buckeyes. But Ohio State is offensively challenged like they are every year. You know, I can't even get started. You know, they play such good defense.
Yeah.
And when they get down to the offensive end, like they play like a high school team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they played so well against Virginia, and then they just turnovers. But Ohio State, like I've always felt like they got some good players on that team, like Jaquan Lyle and Trevor Thompson. They're just kind of like role players, though. They need a stud, and Thad Miles.
D'Angelo Russell come back?
I wish, but Thad Miles came up short lately and getting guys like he used to, like Jared Sollingers, Evan Turners, Deshaun Thomas.
Yeah, he's not recruiting as well for sure.
You put
recruiting
those.
our class. Dwayne Cohill and
Dwayne Cohill, man, he's been
who's
balling this year.
Who's that other kid? The white kid.
Oh
Smart
God,
board?
I forget. Yeah,
I was just looking at
so
stuff
a weak
that he
Ohio
said.
class in our class, but he has been recruiting them. My favorite college team, as you guys know, is Kentucky. I still think that they're in contention for the national title, but everyone is kind of forgetting Duke. As I've said before, they're kind of a sleeping giant right now. I think they're going to wake up from March Madness.
Harry Giles has not been playing.
Yeah, Harry Giles hasn't played. Marcus
Number one
Bolden
recruit in
and
the
Jason
country.
Tatum still need to get more minutes, work into the rotation. So
They're too
I think
fat.
right now college basketball is sort of at a standstill, dead period. You can't really tell anything in early December. But this UCLA team does look legit with a couple of quality wins.
I do think this is the best year for college basketball in a while, though.
Yeah,
all
the
you got
freshmen
all
are
the
doing
you got
really
the stud
great.
freshmen. You got good seniors like guys on teams like Villanova.
Yeah.
And all the big powerhouses are in the top 10. You got Indiana, Kentucky, UCLA, Duke, Kansas, all those teams, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's shaping up to be a really fun year of college basketball.
Yeah, I think
I'm
March
excited.
Madness will be really fun. But moving on to
Whoa! I can't talk about my
you
favorite
wanna-
team.
Oh,
God.
No, I'm just kidding. We suck at
Yeah,
basketball this
basketball's
year.
just awful every year.
yeah.
I mean,
You can just put "we suck" and then end it there, but
Disrespecting Festus Ezeli-led team.
Vandy made a bowl though, right? Weren't they 6-6? When was the last time that happened? Because I really don't remember.
James Franklin. So we had
James
2 straight years
Franklin.
without making it. So we made it then.
Yeah,
So
I saw something on Twitter
2000.
about Kyle Shermer being a sleeper prospect.
oh gosh.
I heard something like that.
No.
Dad's a good offensive coordinator. Maybe not
That
head
ever
coach,
happened?
but offensive coordinator.
Not a very good head coach, as all of us
Yeah.
Browns fans know. But yeah,
we're not
Kyle
gonna,
Shermer.
we're not going to talk about the Browns. I'm setting that.
I've watched 2
Stuff.
years of him,
Yeah.
and some people have watched 3 good games, and they think that since he's been good for the past 3 games, he's been good for 2 years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
He's sucked
No.
for 1.5 years and got good for the past 3 games, so maybe it'll be better. But pro prospect, get out of here, man.
How about Mitch Trubisky as one though, man? Loved
Your
watching that guy
boy.
in high school. Yeah, I loved watching that guy in high school. I'd love to see him in Cleveland, but then again, I want to see him be good. So part of me thinks he'd be better off playing in Chicago. No. I hope he doesn't go to the Jets either, because the Jets is like Cleveland almost with quarterbacks. I mean, they've had a little bit more success, but it's almost like a graveyard.
The Jets got Mark Sanchez to the conference title
Yeah,
game.
but that's Rex Ryan coaching, not Bowles. And Rex Ryan was a good coach for a solid 3 years, and now what the heck is it? Him and his brother, man, those two are just troublemakers. Those two are crazy. God help Washington.
God help 'em.
I pray for that quarterback.
They're going to get destroyed against.
That is like that's like a bull or a cow walking into a slaughterhouse.
It
You
is.
know, poor Washington. Great season, but it's gonna get ugly. And Ohio State Clemson though, that is gonna be a fun game to watch. Deshaun Watson versus the very good Ohio State secondary when they're on their game, because they can slip up sometimes.
Malik Hooker.
But they're still one of the. I
Gary
still would put
Conley.
them up there in the top
Marlon
3 for
Humphrey.
best secondaries in the country.
Marlon Humphrey. Oh my God. Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore, man. So
Not
it'll be interesting to see Deshaun
I'm
Watson
thinking of-
versus that
I
secondary.
wish it was Marlon Humphrey.
But
He's the
Alabama.
yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
That Alabama secondary is nasty too. Like they're like
I was
Alabama
looking at
team
mock
is
drafts
nasty.
and they
How do-
went back to back.
Like, how do you even attack Alabama's defense? Like, the front 7 is ridiculous.
Ole Miss
And then-
figured it out in like week 3. They had 43 points.
Yeah, but I mean, you know how Chad Kelly is.
Yeah.
Ole
Chad
Miss
Ke-
against Alabama
Yeah.
is always wild.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Like, what is it that Hugh Freeze has? He must have like that. Was it the Wake Forest guy sending out the
Yeah.
game plans? He must have he must have insider info at Alabama. But anyways, Ohio State Clemson's gonna be fun to watch, but I think Ohio State has a slight edge. It'll be interesting to see which JT Barrett shows up, because when JT Barrett's on his game, that man is as good as you can get. But sometimes he has a tendency to throw the ball short or throw the ball high, and so hopefully we get the good JT. And I don't think Clemson's as good as they were last year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So I think Ohio State's going to be able to attack that. And then I still think Alabama's beating them in the national title. And, I predicted the whole Ohio State run a few years ago. But
That's one thing,
yeah,
even
I
though,
just do not think they can beat this Alabama team.
even though I won our battle both
Yeah.
years, you always won the big games, like the Super Bowl, the college football playoff. You would
Right.
always win those games. It's like
Telling you,
the upset
man.
specials that I would get, and the games like 13 versus 16, I would get right almost all the time. But in the big games, Max
Yeah.
is usually right.
So it'll be fun to see though until Alabama. I think Ohio State will be able to hang with Alabama for a little bit though, just because if Urban Meyer is a great coach, and I think he'll be able to find ways to kind of exploit a little bit. But at the end of the day, this Alabama team is a lot better than the one a few years ago. And
Yes.
I think we're seeing an Alabama back to back, unless something wild happens, which would be fun to watch.
I think that can wrap it up really for the sports talk. I can't really think of anything in the NBA to talk about going
Christmas
forward.
Day
so,
predictions for the Cavs.
I gotta censor myself. So, bad words, Steph Curry, and his wife. Go
But his
Cavs.
dad, I love LeBron though. I love LeBron Curry.
Oh yeah, I mean that'll be a fun game. Hopefully though, it's not like last year when we were playing Golden State on Christmas Day, and then the big game in what was it, February, where they just
They
show
lost
up
by
and
30.
annihilate us. Hopefully JR is back.
Yeah,
So we don't
I
have to
think-
watch.
I'm hoping for a
well,
Cavs win.
JR is back. JR is back.
Yeah,
I can't-
That'll be good.
So we don't have to have DeAndre Liggins out there on Klay Thompson. So
Yeah, I think the Warriors win Christmas. I really don't think it matters at all for the NBA Finals.
No,
I feel
like
like the Warriors are better than the Cavs in the regular season, but that really
Yeah.
doesn't matter for
I
the
mean,
finals.
LeBron,
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal for regular season games. I
Nope.
think the Cavs think that, believe in that, so I don't think they go
I
as
think
hard.
the Cavs
as
might
this-
just
in
let the
this regular
Warriors
season.
win, give them
Yeah.
some confidence.
but I don't care unless it's the NBA Finals.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
As long as it's gonna be Cavs Warriors. I'm just gonna say that right now, and I think everyone else knows that. There's really no team in the East that can hang with the Cavs, and nobody in the West that can hang with the Warriors.
Yeah, I really just think that this is a showing of how regular season is really meaningless in the NBA.
It just
And
determines the
everyone's
seeding.
waiting for the NBA Finals and the playoffs. So I think with that, we can end it with this FHS season ticket episode. Thanks, Max, for coming back.
Yep,
It's awesome.
thank you.
It's fun to be
break.
back.
Yeah,
Fun to be back.
and we can sign off. See you later.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Max. See you guys.